There's so many people there. So obviously that means if they all start driving, there's huge demand there. They all start eating more proteins. There's huge demand there for the agriculture and everything like that. Even though a lot of India is vegetarian, there's other ways to get it in there. But they are emerging in a way that I think China, it's already happened. They're in that first wave of true industrialization over the last 10 years, how much they've invested in infrastructure, in highways to link Mumbai, New Delhi, and all that. It's truly incredible to see. And then from an ethanol standpoint, obviously they only import industrial right now. They do not import fuel grade. If that were to ever change, that is the silver lining to every ethanol producer's cloud right now. If India were to step in and say, we want more ethanol, it would be a game changer. China used to import more, and now they're building their own ethanol plants. Currently, India has ethanol plants. They make it from molasses, from sugarcane, but it's just they don't have the infrastructure to do it. They could take more tomorrow. Modi, their prime minister, has also increased the amount of ethanol they do take into their cars. They're not hitting it right now, but the fact that they're trying to do it is encouraging. So you can either one of two things is going to happen, in my opinion. One, they eventually say you can import fuel, or two, they say, hey, could you come help us build these things and show us how to run them? Either way, I think it's going to be good for the U.S.
How long of a good for the U.S.?
I don't think India's done growing. So really the question is, how long will they keep expanding? And I think they'll continue to do that for the next 20 to 30 years. Now, if they can industrialize that much, and they do grow sugarcane and everything like that, they could potentially start making their own. So it just depends on the industrialization. You're going to need it near their populous areas. You're going to need to build these plants in and around Mumbai, New Delhi, Hyderabad, where there's major metropolitan areas to make a dent, or they need to increase their port cities to take in more and build tanks. It'll take some investment from somebody, but somebody's going to get it right and probably make a ton of money.
Do you see India importing more of our goods or our insight on goods? You talked about improving refineries, things like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think the insight's probably the easier way. And look, if you look at America right now, the way it's trending, tech is kind of one of our biggest exports, right? That's more idea-based than it is goods-based. We've kind of shifted a little bit from raw materials and everything like that, to a more tech-related economy. So I would expect that would continue to follow through. And it's an easier one, right? The goods is a harder one. Like we talked about, India does need to improve their ports. They cannot take in more if there's a bottleneck. So they need to work to bottleneck that. Once they do that, I think there is a very good opportunity, again, to have some sort of trade agreement with them. Since they are in Asia, it's a natural draw to China. But China's not really a huge exporter either. They're a large importer as well. So it really comes down to Russia and to the Middle East, and that's going to be more oil based to begin with. As far as agricultural products go, I mean, it's South America that they're going to try to draw off as much as they can, and then do as much as they can domestically. But I was there. I drove around in the country. I went to several farms. They've got a long way to go, a very long way to go. I mean, they really are still doing like water buffaloes and plows. That's not facetious at all. That's just the way it is right now in a lot of places over there.
Is there any comparison India is to another country? Has there been somebody else that's followed this template, or somebody 50 years ago that, yep, here comes India. This is what happened in that country?
I would put as the one that I would put it with, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but it feels like it is our neighbor to the south, Mexico. They've really come along. Obviously, if you look at Mexico's refining, you look at their agricultural, you look at their infrastructure, you look at telecommunications, you look at the internet, everything. It's, I don't know the last time you're in Mexico, but if you go to a developed area of Mexico, it very much feels like you're in the United States. If you're in Cabo or Cancun or any of those, you're in the United States with a nice beach, right? Safe, everything like that. It's got its problems, but what country doesn't? Mm-hmm. But I would say it's like that, probably like a 50-year ago Mexico, where it used to be much more rural. And now we're seeing a lot of consolidation in Mexico City and all these other cities, Monterrey. You're seeing this consolidation and a willingness to work with us, with the United States. They're obviously one of our largest trade partners. So yeah, I would hope that it goes that route.
The full discussion will be part of the MTOM release on Tuesday.